toxic Bitcoin maximalism is easily one of the biggest drawbacks of the crypto world. I still remember diving headfirst into crypto back in late 2017, totally new and curious, feeling like I'd stumbled upon something revolutionary. At first, it was exciting, this sense of discovery, this budding community. Bitcoin caught my attention. Then I started exploring other coins, each one opening up new possibilities. For a brief moment, I felt like I joined something bigger than myself. I wanted to learn everything, to dig deeper and make sure it all made sense. Did this really have long-term potential? Back then, I was a complete newbie, basically clueless, but after some research, I started thinking, maybe there's actually something here. It was exhilarating to feel part of this movement, like I'd found a hidden gem in a rapidly evolving world. There's a massive and vibrant community on social media, which is pretty awesome. At least that's what I thought. Then I discovered that because I researched XRP and found its logic compelling, I became public enemy number one to the toxic Bitcoin maximalists, those knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing troglodytes who probably need help putting on their t-shirts in the morning. They're out there rocking Velcro shoes, huddling around dumpster fires under the bridges they call home. And guess what? They charge people Bitcoin to cross those bridges. But of course, during congestion, you might be stuck there for over 24 hours, twiddling your thumbs, waiting to cross because, hey, it's Bitcoin. And according to them, there's no second best, right, Michael Saylor? That's when it hit me. I was the enemy simply because I didn't share their beliefs. Welcome to tribalism, folks. And the kicker, this mindset isn't just confined to online communities. It's alive and thriving in governments too. I can't say there are a ton of elected Bitcoin maximalists out there, but I can definitely name one. Oh, yes, I can. Before we dive in, let me make something crystal clear. I'm not a financial expert, advisor, or anything close to that. Nothing I say here should be taken as financial advice. Seriously, don't make any buy or sell decisions based on my ramblings. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves making YouTube videos about this stuff as a hobby. For fun, not fortune. Now, here's the headline from Crypto Basic that caught my attention. Was it Senator Loomis or her staff? Ripple CEO's canceled meeting raises doubts over Loomis's family ties to Bitcoin only views. Let me just say, I've been calling out this senator for her hardcore Bitcoin maximalist stance for over 3 years now. And trust me, there's plenty to unpack here. So stick around because this one's juicy. For anyone paying attention, this has been crystal clear. Check this out. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse recently posted something worth noting. He wrote, heading to DC to champion sensible pro-crypto legislation around stablecoins and market structure, it's encouraging to see our elected officials beginning to view crypto as it should be, a multi-chain industry. But here's the twist. Senator Cynthia Lummis, chair of the Digital Assets Subcommittee, canceled a meeting with him and won't reschedule. Garlinghouse, clearly undeterred, called her out. As a leader in Congress and senator from one of the most crypto-friendly states, I hope you'll reconsider and lead for all of crypto. Join me on an X Space anytime, or let's connect live at one of the many events where we might cross paths. Together, let's work on making the US the crypto capital of the world. Bold move, Brad. But will Senator Lummis take the challenge? I'll keep doing everything I can to support that goal. But let's be real. That's not a great look for a senator who's supposed to be pro-crypto. Truth is, she's not pro-crypto at all. She's a full-blown Bitcoin maximalist. Sure, she tries to downplay it sometimes, but come on, just listen to what she's been saying for years. It couldn't be more obvious. She's the epitome of a toxic Bitcoin maximalist. And honestly, I can't imagine anything worse than being stuck at an event full of people like that. Everyone in the room except me just repeating the same tired arguments, locked in their little echo chamber of toxic Bitcoin takes. I mean, it'd be like they're all sitting around sniffing their own fumes, nodding along as they recycle the same nonsense over and over again. It just keeps feeding into itself, convincing people there's some logic behind it when in reality there's none. It's a complete non sequitur. The idea that one coin could be the ultimate solution, rendering everything else obsolete, it's absurd. The notion that we nailed it on the first try and now all technological progress should just stop, ridiculous. Anything new is dismissed as unnecessary, a scam, or some kind of distraction. Seriously, how gullible do you have to be to fall for that? Or maybe it's not gullibility, but a failure to think critically. Let's not confuse intelligence with the actual ability to process logic. Those are two very different things. This couldn't be more different. Honestly, it's absurd. It goes completely against what the Trump administration is advocating for. Here's the kicker. She's a Republican, just like President Trump. Yet, while Trump champions a pro-crypto America first stance, this doesn't align at all. He's all about supporting cryptos that stay within the US borders. Love it or hate it, that's his position. And sure, it's fine to have respectful disagreements about it, but this move, it's a head scratcher for sure. She's definitely out of step. Years of being a toxic Bitcoin maximalist will do that. So what's the latest? Well, buckle up because this gets interesting. Pierre Rochard, aka Mr. Forehead, yes, he has big XRP derangement syndrome, jumped in with a post. He shared Brad Garlinghouse's note about Senator Lummis refusing to meet or reschedule. Rochard's take? You love to see it, he says. Then he throws this gem. Ripple XRP is a bad actor, pushing central bank digital currencies and attacking Bitcoin. They've lost all credibility. Yeah, okay, Pierre, that's just a steaming pile of nonsense. Ripple and XRP, not the same thing. XRP isn't some sentient entity out there waging war on other coins. Seriously, did you know that? Is XRP pushing central bank digital currencies? Can we even string together coherent thoughts here? Come on, Forehead. Really? Fivehead? Well, there's always that, I guess. But hey, credibility took a hit. Did you know Brad Garlinghouse is pro-Bitcoin? The man literally owns Bitcoin and has said so publicly countless times. It's wild how none of this adds up. Ripple's been a positive force in the crypto world, advocating for the entire ecosystem. Yet toxic Bitcoin maximalists, of course they're going to eat this up. It's practically in their code. But did you see who reposted that nonsense? Will Cole, check this out. Will Cole just reposted a message from the one and only Mr. Fivehead himself, P.R. Rochard. And guess who uncovered this little gem? XRP community member, Crypto Cowboy. He grabbed a screenshot tagged none other than Brad Garlinghouse and had this to say. Hey, Brad, take a look at Will Cole, Senator Lummis' son-in-law. Here he is reposting Pierre's jab at you. By the way, he's the head of product at a Bitcoin payments company and clearly isn't thrilled about Ripple's success. Sounds like a potential conflict of interest, doesn't it? Crypto Cowboy goes on to suggest this could be why Lummis has been dodging Ripple. Turns out her big financial backers include A16Z, and her family is neck deep in Bitcoin. Coincidence? Probably not. And just to seal the deal, Crypto Cowboy shared another post confirming Will Cole's connection to Cynthia Lummis. It's right there on her official Senate website. Can we call it shady yet? You decide. This guy clearly isn't a fan of Ripple, and it's no secret that Cynthia Lummis seems to have a bone to pick with XRP. She's never outright said it, but let's just say I can read between the lines, and more on that in a moment. I've had my suspicions for years, but here's the kicker. Brad Garlinghouse jumped in on the conversation. He replied to Cobweb Crypto saying, "Thanks for sharing this info. Eye-opening to learn that Will Cole is connected to Senator Lummis. I get that senators have packed schedules, but for her staff to say they're unable to reschedule, that's disappointing, especially when we've been trying to meet one-on-one with her for 6 years. We're an American company working to strengthen the crypto economy for the good of the country." It really makes me wonder, was this decision driven by Senator Lummis herself, or is it just her staff pulling the strings? Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it's straight from her. There's no way to know for sure, but let's just say I wouldn't put it past her. It's pretty obvious Lummis isn't a fan of crypto. Was she even the one who agreed to that meeting in the first place? Maybe it was scheduled for her and she thought, nope, not doing that. Feels like a classic case of XRP derangement syndrome. She's a hardcore Bitcoin maximalist, and honestly, that kind of mindset is toxic for the crypto space. People like her aren't helping. They're pushing narratives that don't align with what benefits the wider crypto community. If you're into anything beyond Bitcoin, she's working against you. No question about it. XRP community member and attorney Bill Morgan recently shared some intriguing screenshots from posts by Will Cole, Senator Lummis' son-in-law. Let's just say they weren't exactly XRP friendly. Here's a taste. In one post from November 14th, 2022, Cole wrote, "This whole ordeal reminded me of something I'd forgotten. XRP/Ripple is a centralized joke of a scam. Securities fraud is the least of its problems." Harsh words, right? It's clear Coles isn't holding back his disdain, and honestly, this feels like a textbook case of XRP derangement syndrome. His toxic Bitcoin maximalism shines through loud and clear. But hey, it's proof that even in crypto debates, the drama never disappoints. Here's another post from him. It seems like he's referencing the chaos from that time, likely tied to FTX. And then he's comparing XRP to that mess, or so it seems. Now, here's a post from February 2022. I'm super proud of what we accomplished, but honestly, this isn't exactly something I'd celebrate. A massive pre-mine fueled by founders greedier than any central bank, tied to a company that's gone to great lengths to obscure its connection to XRP, even to the point of outright lying. Yet Ripple stands out as one of the most transparent players in the crypto world. For years, they've published detailed market reports that ironically ended up being weaponized against them by critics like this guy. Ripple's reports clearly outline their XRP holdings, sales, and activity. Something rare in crypto. They've never hidden what they own or denied it. There's no deception, no obfuscation. Absolutely none. The founders were greedy? Really? Let's break this down. When the founders received their allocation of XRP, its value was literally $0. Zero. Nada. Calling that greed is a stretch. They took on an asset that was completely worthless at the time. How does that scream greed? And let's not forget, everything was transparent from day one. Everyone could see how much XRP Ripple held, including the founder's allocation. That information was always public. It's not like anything was hidden behind closed doors. Blaming them because the market eventually assigned XRP a value is just absurd. They didn't control that. The market decided, and suddenly this worthless asset had a real price tag. But to label them as greedy for holding something that initially had no value, that's not their fault. What's wrong with it? If people understand the situation, know all the facts, and still choose to trade or hold it, that's their decision. Plenty of folks like me are in it for the long haul. Calling it greedy? Seriously, who are you to judge? There's a whole community out there that disagrees, or XRP wouldn't have stayed in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence. Case in point, Attorney Morgan highlighted this and pointed out, this is what Senator Lummis's son-in-law thinks about XRP. If these are her views as well, it's no wonder she's dodging Brad Garlinghouse. Imagine the backlash from her inner circle, the criticism. It all makes sense. She's surrounded by a pack of toxic Bitcoin maximalists. And honestly, I've known this for ages. Just the other day, I even wrote to Senator Lummis about it. She brought up the Genius Act, and I couldn't help but respond. I'm not diving into that here, but I did ask, why won't you meet with Brad Garlinghouse? Bitcoin maximalism is toxic to the crypto space, and honestly, she should know better. She ought to be ashamed, but let's face it, self-awareness isn't her strong suit. No shame, no accountability. It's just awful. I even shared a video about her, which you can see on your screen now. That video, published November 3rd, 2021, is titled, Senator Lummis Thinks Cryptos Like XRP Look More Like a Security Than a Commodity. It includes a CNBC clip where she talks about scammy tokens and why they're harmful. She didn't mention XRP by name, but the way she described the situation and ecosystem, it was undeniably XRP. It was crystal clear to me, like a light bulb moment. I thought, wow, how can anyone not see this? She pointed it out specifically, and this was less than a year into the SEC Visas Ripple battle. The signs couldn't have been more obvious. I even made a video about it 3.5 years ago, calling it exactly as it is. The toxic Bitcoin maximalism was right there then, and nothing has changed since. Honestly, she's not helping the space. She's not helping crypto at all. She's obsessed with Bitcoin, and honestly, I can't wrap my head around it. How does someone lock their brain into thinking one technology is the end-all be-all? For me, I just want to follow the truth, stay open-minded, and explore innovation. But to believe Bitcoin is the ultimate solution, that we should stop improving and adapting, come on, it's baffling. Because it's clear as day that other cryptos do things Bitcoin simply can't and never will. Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. Technologically speaking, it's the worst cryptocurrency ever created. Not because it's bad, but because it was the first. And now we're supposed to stop progressing. Please. There are entire business models thriving today because of cryptos like XRP and others that are faster, cheaper, and adaptable. Bitcoin will never be that. It just can't. To make it work, you'd have to fork it and rewrite its DNA, and we all know that's not happening. So let's be real. Clinging to Bitcoin alone is nonsense. Innovation doesn't stop, and neither should we. Layer 2 technologies can enhance Bitcoin, but Bitcoin itself doesn't support them, and even then, some people are firmly against it. For example, you could use the XRP ledger to speed up Bitcoin transactions, but that idea faces resistance too. Let's be honest, Bitcoin alone isn't great. It needs other tech to go beyond just being a store of value. Yet some act like everything else is unnecessary, painting alternatives as scandalous or irrelevant. And sure, occasionally she'll say things suggesting she's not a Bitcoin maximalist, but those moments are rare. Trust me, she doesn't mean it. It's just a strategy to avoid criticism, pretending she's open-minded. You know who else sees through this? My fellow XRP YouTuber, Crypto Eddie. On November 20th, 2023, she raised a complaint when the SEC decided to sue Kraken. But then Crypto Eddie stepped in and was like, hold up. She dropped a clip of her actually praising Gary Gensler, saying, I think Gary Gensler gets it. In the video, she argued that too many people fail to realize the huge difference between Bitcoin and every other coin out there. And honestly, she's not wrong. There is a difference. Bitcoin, it's like the pet rock of crypto. Meanwhile, altcoins like XRP actually have real functionality. Crypto Eddie didn't let that slide, sharing the clip with a bold statement. Sorry, but Loomis is no friend to the cryptocurrency ecosystem. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Gotta say, Eddie nailed it with that one. Golf clap. Fast forward, and Eddie reposted it recently saying, ah, yes, I said it out loud in 2023. I remember it wasn't the most popular opinion to go against the herd. Maybe not in the Bitcoin crowd, Eddie, but you clearly knew what was up. In the XRP community, it's pretty clear she's not acting in our best interest. This latest move is just more proof of that. So I thought it was worth calling out, and I did. Times like these make me extra grateful for my YouTube channel where I can voice what's on my mind. Honestly, what an absolutely abysmal senator. Actually, let me be clearer than that. What a toxic Bitcoin maximalist piece of trash, who's clearly failing to uphold her responsibilities. They're much more accurate. This kind of behavior is a disaster for crypto in America. It's not helping innovation. It's not helping the people. It's just a mess. And knowing she holds this much power, it's frustrating to say the least. You hate to see it. Reminder, I am not a financial advisor. Don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say here. That would be a very bad idea.